Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the former world champion and the rank 1 Terran in the world. In the red, it's Team Liquid's Clem, facing off against arguably the best Protoss player out there. In the blue, not the Protoss we deserve, but the one we need right now, a herO. In a best of 5 Terran versus Protoss tournament grand finals. And whether you're a bigger fan of method or madness, it'd be incredible before we get started. If you could smash that like button, maybe even subscribe. Help me count the algorithm. And Jimmy, what are we at? Alright, what is he doing? 1,742 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. I'll probably do it anyways, because I don't know what else I do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As herO has a gateway in his base, a gateway halfway across the map, a nexus has begun, and I have no idea exactly where we're going, but I think herO will join me in that. It's a proxy, well, it's a hidden 2-gate, crouching probe, hidden gateway over to the left side of the map. Clem figured it out because he kind of flipped a coin and went for the SCV scout, and I'm sure he's not regretting it now. But herO, now, keeping Clem somewhat contained, he's going to scout and spot the... Wait? Well, he doesn't quite see the gateway, because who puts a gate that's not even that much closer than his main? But herO now backing off. My work here is done. And Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, I mean the 3 Protoss units will step their way across the map. And I guess we're going to even things out. The Reaper is still searching. It has yet to find it. The Stalker. And the grenade is perfect. He bounces to the side, but does he cut down the angle enough? Somehow, yes. But despite all this, he's kept that gateway secret. And he keeps it safe. Not that I think Clem's going to... Like, he's narrowed down. He's pretty much scouted everywhere it couldn't be. He's literally looked the entirety of that quadrant of the map, except the exact positioning the gateway is. Now, there's not much he can do about it right now, but eventually it could become relevant, especially when combined with, say, a charge lot on it, which is not a hypothetical. Charge is halfway done. Meanwhile, back at home, Clem, with concussive shells, marauders, in order to, well, make sure any of those individual gateway units is going to have a very tough time getting away if it steps too far. But yep, that's how I feel too. So, herO with another herO special. Clem still trying to figure out what's going on. The Reaper eventually knocked out. 3 bases on the way. The hallucinated Phoenix spots that Clem is trying to maintain some semblance of sanity as he works into the 2 racks with siege tanks in production, but he doesn't have a starport. He doesn't have an engineering bay. In fact, Clem is kind of behind. Just in general, because herO absolutely... He cut every corner, but also still managed to keep Clem busy. The lack of knowledge is burning a hole in the back of Clem's brain right now. And it's keeping him bottled up in his base. Clem, probably the most, by far, effective, aggressive player. He makes Terran units look absolutely unstoppable and untouchable. But if he's cowering in his base, waiting for an all-in that may or may not come, that does not allow him a lot of opportunity to get damage done. So, hallucinated Phoenixes continually keeping track. herO now has an amount of units, so he's moving out. Now, the starport is not done. Clem is moving into a 3rd command center. He's anticipating, like, this is how little he knows. He's worrying about a potential warp prism, but the units in the main base still wondering if there's going to be blink or charge lots. Well, okay, some of the charge lots just go forward. Yep, that's a real bunker, not hallucinated. Just 3 of them die. A brave sacrifice. Well, the line between bravery and stupidity is the same one, it feels like sometimes here. But, well, Clem is like, if I was playing Protoss, Clem being arguably the best Protoss versus Terran player in the world, he has the highest win rate. But we have to consider one thing. He doesn't have to play Clem, which I think factors in dramatically. But Clem's like, yeah, he's going to go for a Warp Prism because when I move out, he's going to move in with the Prism. herO just finished his robo. Clem is giving herO way more credit than herO is giving himself. And Clem is kind of hurting himself in his confusion. Barely anything has happened. I guess statistically. There has been only 2 Zealots that wandered into the bunker, a Reaper, a Marine, and 2 SCVs, yet this has been one of the most intense mind games I've seen in quite a while, and that's saying a lot with these 2 players. Clem is clearly, not fearful, but at least cognizant of a potential attack, whereas herO also is cognizant of that. So, a 4th base is on the way. Robo base. 2nd Robo. That Warp Prism is never going to show up, as he doesn't have one, which is probably good for him. Run! Run away! The entire Protoss army chasing 1 Marine. A 2nd Marine comes in. An advanced strategy, like attacking 2 places at the same time. Ooh, that was gruesome. Eviscerates the Marine. And now Clem is ready to move out. He's got, wait, where's +1 weapons? Did he not get, he got +1 armor first. That's kind of crazy. Meanwhile, hallucinated Colossus. Don't step into the scan. Oh my, does he believe him? Does it matter? He's microing back. The scan, that Colossus is not real. The charge lots very much are though. Clem kiting them back, shaves away a few. And now here's the beauty of it. He has 2 Colossi in production right now. Extended Thermal Lance is halfway done. Mine is further along, and herO right now looking like an absolute genius. Once again, the Forrest Gumpian school of Protoss seems to be the most effective one. As Clem is down 20 supply, he has less bases, and he has no map control. What sort of mind games... And this is why Max Pax has so much less success against Clem. Clem is over here using his brain. Or herO is over here as well. Warp Prism is on the way. 5th base for herO. When you expand, simply defense it. A scan. Is he going to switch to like Stargate or something? Templar? No. It's real Colossi this time. Though I wouldn't put it past herO to hallucinate like 3 or 4 of them. He only has the 1 sentry. The ghosts are on the field. Some Vikings being mixed in. Double Ruptor as well. Making sure he has a full flavorful menagerie of splash damage. Not that the Protoss would know any such things. About mouth, of course. 9 gateways. 2 robos. Whole bunch of charge lots. Colossi microing forward. And... well, at least they're not getting distracted. They're getting up close and personal. Burninating across the countryside. The Viking count not quite high enough. Targeting onto the Marines. But the gateway units are thinning out dramatically. 20 SCVs dead. Doesn't quite delay the 4th command center, but herO has everything to fall back on. Clem just needs to cut the ribbon on that command center. Finishes it off. Down under 50 SCVs. The Colossi incinerating the Marines, but now will be knocked low. Clem still only has +1 armor. herO has +1 attack. And not nearly enough units to perpetuate this one. So if he wants to expand here, he has to take out his own Proxy Gate, which is still going. Double Ruptor. An existential threat, but he gets way too close, and another shot strays wide. Gets 2 SCV kills, and that's about it. Now rebuilding the Colossus count. And herO, +2 weapons, as well as armor. He attacked directly into one of the best possible positions repeatedly. And while he did shave away a big chunk of the SCV count, he also shaved away a big chunk of his army. And herO does seem to have... some days he just decides that Templar are overrated. Or undeserving of his attention. And they also take another hotkey usually, and that's a lot to ask. This hero has a hotkey for these 3 stalkers, his warp prism, and that's it. The rest of the army will show up when it does. 2 immortals at a time. The Noah's Ark Robo continuing to pump out units. Planetary Fortress down the center. And finally, that warp prism that Clem was expecting 7 minutes ago is now on its way in. And this time, there's no preparation. The stalkers at the front. No units in position to defend. No missile turrets at all. And no reinforcements really headed towards it. This warp prism's going to find the perfect timing. Some charge slots at the natural might be able to break through the bunker, but the SCVs are able to repair in time. The warp prism will be knocked down with no further commentary. Meanwhile, the Zealots cleaned up. So the double-prong counterattack, and herO brings in the 3rd one. But the attack at the front, the planetary fortress is enough to hold it down, and herO with a surprising amount of respect for it. But he's pumping out immortals 2 at a time. He's expanding like a Zerg. A Shrine to Dark is on the way, always appropriate. The Dark Templar, they don't really count. You don't usually need another hotkey for them. Let's not be ridiculous. It's interesting as a hotkey for his gateways as well. Maybe a holdout from the Brood War. hero's certainly old enough. Meanwhile, never even took his gases at the natural. He's working off of a grand total of 4 assimilators right now, which seems to be enough. He has a huge amount of mineral income. So many zealots to throw away. 82 so far. I think that's just the beginning. But Clem, equal army supply, equal upgrades, in a better position with the planetary fortress. Snaps up 1 Viking down the center. A bunch of charge lots heading in towards the natural. The bunker is completely empty, but so are the shields at the front. As the EMPs wash over. Fills up the bunker this time around. The SCVs are going to be a little bit too slow. herO sharking around. He's got the Dark Templar potential. Ship weapons level 1 now completed. Clem unable and unwilling to attack throughout the entirety of the game. At least so far. But if herO is unable to get more damage done soon, Clem is going to be maxed out EMPs and Observer, revealing it. Another Nexus. He's got 7 of them. Clem working slowly towards his 5th base. Another wave of charge lots. They just keep growing in size. And that's not the only thing. Also, the total amount of bases taken, unless hero's able to bash through. But no, the Vikings hit the deck. The Immortals are not enough. And on their own, with this many Marines in front, they're just going to evaporate. The Immortals sliced away, but the charge lots make their way through the natural and into the 3rd as well. Going to kill a couple more SCVs. 17 dead. Liberator's on the way. herO manages to have less supply at the end of that. Wow. Clem destroyed double the minerals and triple the gas. But herO has so much economy. It's not about how many units you lose. It's about how much you have to replace them with. The problem is, herO does not have enough to replace them. And Clem now has the army supply. He's adding in Liberators. He's got 3-3 on the way. DT Blink is in production. Oh, herO. I swear, it's doubled every time. It was like 3, and then it was 6, and then it was 12, and this is 24 charge lots. Wait, is it 2 pages? No, it's 27. My bad. So 54 supply of charge lots. Over to the left side. The Proxy Gate is still alive. A testament to herO's commitment. To say the very least. Meanwhile, another Warp Prism. Optimistic, but the Vikings... Oh, the factory! Oh, he Dick Cheney'd that one. Rest in pieces. Meanwhile, Zealots looking to slice through. I can't believe it. Somehow herO got Clem to shoot at his own factory instead of the Warp Prism. Classic move. Probably within the hitbox. Meanwhile, 7 disruptors. A old broadside is ready. The Vikings hit the deck, though they may regret that decision. And Clem has a beautiful concave, and herO blinks right in for everything! A full volley in every direction, but it barely scratches the surface of the army, and Clem has more than enough left over. And 7 disruptors are going to get popped one by one by one. As he continues across the map with the upgrades, fadeaway shot. Now, technically in the last patch, the cooldown was reduced by 4 seconds, which allowed herO to get another shot off in the second volley, doing nothing. 4 medevacs at a time. Does he have a fusion core? No. But I feel like he's going to remember it now, as Clem, for the first time, somehow is nearly maxed out. herO keeps jumping off a cliff with his army, and then warping in another one at the top of it. The thing is, it is 7 bases to now 5. There's the fusion core! As Clem finally finding the space and the resources to maximize his efficiency, and herO finally finding the space and the resources to minimize it. DT Blink is completed. Now, the DT Blink usually used to jump on and all the way around. Jump around, if you would. A planetary fortress. In order to slice it up in a single dramatic blow. But right now, herO, well, he's maxed out, but I think he can fix that. Coming in again, the command center is creating something of a choke point. I think it's very intentional where Clem builds them outside these bases. We've already seen it to great use so far. And herO, again, only has... He's up to 7 assimilators. I believe he's mined out of the main. So only, like, 5 of them are mined. This is the most herO thing I've ever seen. No! This is a memorial, a testament. Meanwhile, this is happening. The planetary fortress. The command center is definitely the most important target, drawing the attention and the fire from those colossi. Unfortunately, it also drew the entire Terran army from across the map, as the colossi will get the rank 1 Protoss in the world, everybody. Hey, I got a Nexus in here. Where do you want it? Just throw it over there. Are you sure? Yeah. Just right over by the gateway. Oh, it's a warp gate. Oh, whatever. Shut up. High-sec auto-tracking and building armor done. Well, building armor's not quite there yet, but so far, herO having a tough time with the more malleable command centers. He's still maxed out. 14 gates. EMP, here come the charge lots. Clem's army value is like 40% higher despite it, because herO's army is the Colossi are roasting the planetary, but 4 of them in autumn colors. And Clem's still struggling. If those units get too stacked up, the Colossi burn right through them. Their only weakness is how easily distracted they are from great range. Advanced ballistics on the way. Advanced ballistics on the way. The no! Come on! Ore Prism targeted down, and now the Colossi will be spared the opportunity to make fools of themselves for the 4th time in a row. Hitting that planetary instead of things that are, you know, have less HP, which includes pretty much everything besides your mother. Meanwhile, 4 Liberators on the way with advanced ballistics. herO has somehow managed. He's lost 15,000 more resources. He's still barely mining any gas. Another wave of charge. The fact that he can't put together 200 supply despite having 9 Nexi does not bode well. for our profound Protoss protagonist. But he has sworn off of High Templar. The Dark Templar have barely made an appearance, and not because they're cloaked. Sir, you can't park here. Meanwhile, somehow herO manages to snap up a couple dozen supply of the army. Clem abandoning some of it. He's got 118 army supply, the Venn diagram of freedom. Liberation is at hand, and the Stargate is not even close. He has no Stargates right now. None in production. You're just microing the Stalkers back, knocking out the Vikings one by one. But the Colossi are toppling almost as quickly. Command Center. That's now 2 bases on the map near herO's random pylons. Here comes herO, maxed out yet again. Blinks over to the side. There's so many Liberators. Disruptors underneath! Oh no! He takes out more of his own Zealot. Well, is that true? Oh, I guess he did. I lied. He did. Alright. But the Liberators, there's no answer. The Stalker count. He has 1 Stalker, which is not very many. 8 ranged Liberators with +3 ship weapons is probably a bit of a tall order for even the most dramatic of Stalkers. I'm not entirely sure what herO's plan is, but that has been true for 23 minutes now. So, it appears Clem has survived the onslaught. And if things do not change dramatically very soon, as herO expands to the gas guys on a base that is mined out of minerals. herO with another legion of Zealots. Is he long distance? Somehow even longer distance mining, as he's mined out of 1, 2, 3, almost 5 bases of minerals, not of gas, amusingly. He's mined 5,000 less gas than Clem, and you can tell. Clem's army is 4,500 gas to 12 of herO's. He's got the value world Protoss right now, and unfortunately, it's just not holding up to these premium Terran units. Alright. He's got 333, including the ship weapons. The Liberators with range. The Stalker count is enough to one-shot the Liberators. The Colossi coming up. I don't know how many have fallen, but I think 2 more are going to be added to it by the end. More ghosts. He's lost 14 331 Zealots. And the game. Clem survives. herO denied. Game 1 completed. herO defeated. From the very beginning, the Proxy Gate that survived the entire game, might I add, for better or much more arguably for worse. But Clem, I don't think Clem even really attacked the entire game. herO, Clem only attacked bases that were like at the halfway mark of the map or on his side. But at some point, herO just ran out. There may have been a few forays over, but Clem did not drop. He did not really counterattack. There wasn't even the early aggression because of the... We've had first Proxy Gate. Why not second Proxy Gate as the first probe? It's a nice little pylon location. Real cozy looking, isn't it? Did he? All right. Well, here we are. The Reaper is looking very much... Clem did not SCV scout, and that could cost... He's going to find the gateway immediately, because while the pylon may be hidden, the gateway is a little bit harder to hide. And cancels the command center. I'll bet he wouldn't do it again. He absolutely would, and he has. And here comes the Stalker. Okay, the bunker is not done. He did not SCV scout. He had almost no warning, and it will cost him. The SCV is going to be targeted. The Marines are not enough on their own. The Stalker coming up knocks out one of the Marines, but taking a lot of damage so far. There should be a Reaper grenade, but here comes the Adept. Sidesteps the Stalker getting chased, but it's going to cost him everything. And down goes... Oh, no! Well, okay, now there's an Adept inside. He's got a reactor to wall off. herO is inside the base. And it's going to take either a concerted effort or an exorcist to get him out. Through all the fire and fury he's able to bring to the table again, Clem misunderestimated the amount of commitment herO was willing to put into this. Or just the sheer amount of spite. Porque no los dos. And he's expanded. This is a macro build. This is a macro build. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So Clem will survive. At first he was afraid. And then it seemed for a moment he was petrified that the Stalkers and the Adepts would remove his Marines and all his Reapers from life. But now he's floating his CC down. And, well... The Adepts doing their unholy patrol pattern. More Stalkers going to be warped in. Is there even... There's a Twilight Council. And four Stalkers, 2 Adepts, 0 fucks. Here comes herO. Marauders gets vision with the Shade. It's not much, but it's enough. He actually knocks out a Marauder. Cyclone from downtown. Couple casual SCVs gonna be murdered. Innocent bystanders. Enemy combatants. Depends on who you ask. Meanwhile, the double lock. And multiple Stalkers gonna be taken out, and things are going sideways fast and starting to slip downhill for herO. Ooh, locks on to another. And trying to chase down. Edging the line of vision there. Blink halfway done. Now, Blink finishes before... Well, Blink will finish before Stim. He's had so many Stalkers. There's no bunker, but there's a siege tank. The bunker on the high ground. This is an admission to how dangerous herO is. I think against anyone else, he would have salvaged that bunker by now. But he's keeping it there just in case. Trying to get close to the proxy, but I don't actually... herO doesn't need Blink. He has plenty of Stalkers. The Adept Shade through. Target firing, but knocks out another Marauder. And wait a second. Wait a second. gets all the mechanical units, and flesh is weak and malleable, and the stalkers are hungry for it. Metaphorically, of course. Blink is now done before, well, after that whole kerfuffle outside the proxy. And, well, no hesitation. Blocks forward. Marauder dead. Siege tank dead. Marines targeted. Already shift click on it with most of the stalkers. And Clem has no units. It's just these Marines. That's not enough. Another siege tank is about to pop out, but he's losing a bunch of his SCVs. And herO's taking a third. This is a macro build, remember. Siege tank gonna siege up again. And Clem is bleeding out. It's not over yet. Well, he gets one shot. Second, gets a second hit on those stalkers, which may be enough to keep him alive for now. But every siege tank pops out, and Clem has the hubris to put it on the low ground, and herO disabuses him of that notion. Well, kiting back the stalkers. He sees another tank. He's going to wait out exactly one blink cooldown, and then I think he's going to go in again. There's only 3 units. That's not enough. Blunks forward, right over the top. There goes the tank. Marauder, next on the agenda. SCVs, forget about it. 1-1. herO is on the board. Proxy Gate number 2. He didn't expect the commitment, so he planned for disaster. herO with the same thing but better. And Clem just continually thinking of what do I do next? herO thinking of what do I do now? I'm coming out ahead because of it. You can tell Clem is constantly thinking of what would Clem do as a Protoss in this scenario. And Clem's Protoss is essentially max packs, but in an alternate universe. After so many games against him in such a similar style, there is no... herO is his own alternate universe. That is... it's impossible to replicate, even for herO. Like, okay, so that was the classic proxy in the middle of the map into Stalker, Adept, 1 in the base, 6 Stalker, 2 Adept, macro, expand, blink all-in timing. So you can write that down. After you like and subscribe, of course. This is the grand finals of the Pigosaurus Cup. Not sure which number. Maybe about 55 at this point. Maybe literally. We're right on about that, but... another one of the weekly cups that, well, it's another day. And sometimes multiple times a day, we see Clem versus herO. Sometimes, like... it's all about... I thought Max Packs versus Clem was all about aggression. And it is. Whereas herO versus Clem is all about mental aggression. Microaggressions. In the most literal sense. And herO is 100% bamboozling Clem. And even in game 1, all Clem could do was survive. herO always dictating the pace of the games. For better, and oftentimes for worse. But, most importantly, I think, for great entertainment value. I do well, honestly, it's impossible to tell how intentional anything is. But I'm reminded of the herO versus Raynor series from just a few days ago, where I'm going to spoil it, though I think the title does as well, where herO is decisively winning 2-0, not even close, and then just completely fumbles game 3 with a build that doesn't work at all, and Raynor comes back. And not to discredit Raynor, but playing against herO is just a mental crucible. So I do feel like sometimes he's like, oh, this is not entertaining enough. Are you not entertained? So even when maybe by playing a more careful style, he could have better results, not more entertaining results. Clem shows 1 Reaper, very intentionally hiding the second. herO baited into sending out the second, or baited into sending out the Adept. And he may end up losing it because of that little mind game there. But he's able to get away since the second Reaper headed the other direction. All of hero's buildings are on his side of the map, which is a unique experience here in Game 3. All right, the Reaper Hellion is, this is a TVT sort of build, but still very dangerous to any workers that can get nearby. Shield battery. Kind of a half wall here. herO hiding on the high ground, anticipating. Some exactly like this. Throws the Robo in. Here come the Reapers. No shield battery in the main. Here come the Hellions as well. All right. Bouncing around. And the results... Does he get the Hellion? Not quite, but Adept trying to make its way back. The shield battery doesn't get a sip in time. That is not a super pylon. Nope. Just good old-fashioned. Back in my day, we had to build out of the gateways like a filthy Terran. Grandpa, I told you to cut your nerve cords. I like Amon. He's my kind of dude. Turn off Facebook, Grandpa. He tells it like it is. Okay. Well, Liberator on the way. Clem, for the first time, now that herO has seeded the map, able to get something resembling aggression. Blink still 10 seconds out, which are some very important seconds as the Widowmine drop comes in. Blink, chrono boosted though, it's done now. And that first, retargeting, recalculating. Second shot, oh my god. Oh, sweet Tassadar. He walks the probes in. Oh, loses 8 of them. I think 1 more to the Hellions. herO managing to scrape disaster out of a near decisive victory. He knocked the medevac out of the sky. He got both Widowmines. But the lackadaisical probe micro certainly was not ideal for the life expectancy of those probes. Meanwhile, Liberator just gonna casually stroll in, which even Clem thinking that's a bit optimistic in this scenario with this many Blink Stalkers on the field. Double bunker back at home. Clem has his bulwark set up to deal with the Blink Stalkers. There's a Robo Bay already on the way, even before a third Nexus. That's 2 bunkers, but the 2 bunkers here would go for it. But he does in a surprising show of caution. Oh, and he gets in! He's gonna target, he goes for the Raven, he goes for the Tech Lab. He's gonna get Combat Shield, he's gonna get Stim, and... he's going... Oh, it's out of... He gets every add-on. He uninstalls it. A fresh install of Terran. Unfortunately, not one he wanted to have. So, severe delay. I think he caught a glimpse of the Liberator before, is why he had some Stalkers back at home. Severe delay on both Stim and Combat Shield, which is going to give herO more than enough opportunity to get Colossi with extended thermal lands before the Bio Army can come across the map. Clem may be locked in yet again to a much more defensive style, and even more than the one with 2 bunkers at the front. Two forges behind. herO just throwing it all on there. Liberator just retreats home, knowing that herO a bit too aware of it. Colossi chilling. Colossus chillin', sorry to my pedantic nerds in the comments. But I don't want to offend all the Terran players. The Raven looking for any observers, but he's still, well, the observers are further out. herO making use of the improved vision on the surveillance mode observers, even if they are revealed when in that mode. I do think overall, when well used, it's a buff. As it now has more vision than any unit in the game, I think by at least one range. But, of course, Clem thinks it's a bait. Like, there might be an army right there. At least for a moment. It worked either way, the bait and switch. He gets... Okay, well, not exactly perfect calculation, but is still able to knock out one of the tanks as Clem chases the observer. There's just... Liberator finds its way back around. There and back again. A Liberator story. Well, Ghost Academy's on the way, and things slowing down more dramatically than usual, as herO has kind of abandoned his penchant for all-out aggression for a... You know, this is a mind game in and of itself. herO sitting back and just playing defensive macro? What are you up to? What are you doing? Couple more gates on the way, notably no Templar archives. Meanwhile, Clem has... Look at that spread. Can't believe it's not butter. Sensor towers, everybody battening down the hatches, bunkering up, batteries, and another 4 gateways for herO, bringing them up to double digits. Takes down the destructible rocks down the center, opens up a more direct path. And 3 more racks as it all comes together for Clem. Armory, second engineering bay. So Clem is going to be a full suite of upgrades behind, as herO's going to be finishing 2-2 by about the time Clem can start it. And I go right through, well, technically called a blockade, but they're just destructible rocks by a fancier look. The War Prism. Throwing another round of charge lots in, and you're just gonna go for it. We've had our build-up phase. Something atypical with these two players, but very typical in a standard Terran versus Protoss, where neither side really has the technological edge to do an attack reliably. The reason we don't usually see that with herO is he doesn't care. Not that it doesn't make sense, but 2-2 is now done, and the moment it is, he comes up the ramp, pops the Guardian Shield, tries to catch the army out of position, and the Widow Mines and Siege Tanks are brought on the other side. 2 Elucidated Colossi. The Raven gets Edgar Allan Poe. The Vikings actually hit the Elucidated Colossi, even though they knew it, as they weren't close enough, and Clem just taps out before the fight is even concluded. A classic Clem quit there, but was it? So 2-2 is done. And having that upgrade advantage with gateway units against Bio, he has a siege tank, a bunker, and 4 Widow Mines in position over here. Somehow, herO walked his entire army across the map unscouted. Yeah, it was over. herO just comes in and one-shot kill. Knocks him out, guillotines Clem, and now he's 1 match away. Proving he can play that sort of style. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He's not locked into the madness. He just partakes on frequent occasion. herO just a very clean, maxed out Colossus 2-2 timing, and Clem completely unprepared. His unit's very out of position, and now 1 game away from seeding yet another series to the Smiling Assassin. Well, Throne of the Dunes. So much sand. going to Reaper Wall for, I believe, the first time. Well, hard to Reaper Wall when you Proxy Gate, and then last game was not focused on it. herO. Strategy roulette here. And that's always been what Protoss has needed. They've needed that sort of, or at least the most successful Protoss have had that wild card aspect where you literally cannot predict what they're going to do next. The spread of potential strategies is so wide that it's impossible to cover for them all. Like MC, SOS, Zest, Parting, herO. All the very best, the most successful. Notable exception of like Stats and Neeb. But neither had as... I guess neither really had as much of a consistent, somewhat ironically, success as the YOLO tosses. There's the shield toss, which would include like max packs and classic. More focused on just having a perfect build and building the army that you can't beat. And then the YOLO toss, which should be pretty self-explanatory. Max Pack's one of the few players who morphed from one to the other. YOLO toss into shield toss. herO, all top. You know, to be fair, it really looks like that's the Reaper jump location, doesn't it? This misleading Reaper jump location brought to you by Monster Energy. Wow. So herO finally walls off against the Reaper. And yeah. Well, that feels... Now, that's a mistake you don't make twice. Usually, but... Wow. I was convinced, too. It seems like the part of the map that is literally falling to pieces should be the jump location, and maybe it is as well, but... Wow. That is... Yeah. Stargate, nearly complete. He was trying to hide it. Well, to an extent. I think the Reaper still would have jumped up and seen it here, but Phoenixes. Sure, let's throw that out there. Let's give it a shot. Three racks with a factory. No starport here for Clem. Focused on a potentially deadly ground attack. Which certainly can help when your opponent is focused on few, but... Well, Phoenixes are not great against the masses of Marines. They're very good against things like a Widowmine drop, a Liberator, Ravens... individual units of comparable cost that they can just slice or pick up and knock out of the sky. But against the brute force of a bunch of dudes with drugs and guns marching across the map, they're certainly not the best tool for the job. And Clem, oh, he's gonna pull the boys. Right? Like, he doesn't even have a starport. He's got 2 gases technically, which usually indicates he will tech up eventually, but... He's trying to abuse the fact that herO is simply not going to have any splash damage. Alright? He's not even going to have that many gateway units. He's building a robo now. Looks like Mecha Toss is going to be the choice, but the Reaper is still alive. And if he sees the robo, he's not going to see the robo bay. Alright, he's going to jump in. In fact, he sees the Phoenix count, which it appears herO was trying to hide, but on seeing the Phoenix count, knowing that that's most of the investment, well, Clem's gonna move out. And half a dozen tactic boys coming across the map, and the first Phoenix gets knocked out of the sky immediately. Which is an inauspicious start for our Protoss player, as here comes Clem. Stim, combat shield on the way. That Spylon seems a bit redundant, as the army is already clearly coming across the map. Chrono boosting Immortals. He only has 2 gates. That's not enough. Knocks out another Phoenix. scan, spots the one immortal. Siege tanks, but there's too many Marines in front. Stim is done. He doesn't need it yet. Trying to build a Colossus. That's optimistic. Bunkers at the front. And herO will fight to the bitter end, but I don't think there's going to be that much more time before we see it. The probes are pulled off the line. And picks up a couple tanks. Marines forcing to put them right back down. The pylon. The Clempire strikes back. herO reached so far to both ends of the tech tree. He's like, I'm gonna go Phoenix, I'm gonna go Colossi, and before he gets either direction, Clem just punches him directly in the face. And a decisive victory on the same level of herO's last game, but even more expedited by the early scouting and the early timing. herO giveth, and herO taketh away. And somehow, yet again, the game is all about herO. Because herO decided to go hide his Phoenixes into Stargate. Clem already saw the Stargate. I don't know why he was hiding his Phoenixes. All right? You know, this is going to drive me to madness. The way herO's playing. Good thing we have a map for that. Winter Madness. Now officially in the map pool for the next season alongside most of the maps we're seeing today. But, Game 5. I'm not going to try any predictions. I'm just going to ask you to like and subscribe. Smash that hype button if you're on one of the weird platforms that allows you to do so. And thank you for watching. I hope I'll make your day a little bit better. It's a stressful one, but, you know, I would take... I'm sorry. But I would take herO's madness 9 times out of 10 over Max Pax's perfection. That's not exactly fair, because Clem and Max Pax have some of the most epic back and forths because they both know each other so well. Where herO doesn't know anyone, or he knows everyone. The point being, we need someone. And now that Dark, herO's greatest frenemy, is doing his military service. Come back to us, Dark. He apparently plans on coming back, hopefully. And herO managed it. Some, 3 or 4 years ago, herO did his military service and came back, and, well, he's here today. So, now, we'll see. Dark does seem like someone who, if there's any motivation, then, if there's any tournament still going, he'll at least sign up. But we still have probably up to a year on that. It's only been a little over 6 months. I think the most service is around 18 months in Korea nowadays. Though there's exceptions and changes. I'm not an expert on it. And also a key point, Dark is still top 10 on the Korean ladder. They're just not allowed to play tournaments because they're on effectively active duty. So, but that doesn't mean they're not allowed to play at all. But as of the last time I checked, at least a few weeks ago, Dark is still playing actively on the ladder. Because they still have, time. So, I think it'd be a crazy world where Dark couldn't be top 10 on the Korean ladder. You know what is amusing, though? You know, who's beating Clem? Clem's Terran on the European ladder? Clem's Protoss. Right now, in order, it's StarCraft. Well, again, this is 3 weeks ago. It's StarCraft, Clem's Protoss, Max Pax, Clem's Terran. And then I think Showtime next on that. And again, Clem has the benefit of not having to play against Clem. So, speaking of playing against Clem, though, the Stalker just assassinated the Reaper Hellion. He's just going. He's just killing him. And now he goes for the probes, lines him up. The line of fire quite devastating. He can kill them. Whoa, 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 this is so much damage. Okay, 5 kills and counting. Hellion still alive. 6. He got 2 stalkers as well. Like, oh, the grenade, and he gets another. He gets 8 probes. He got 8 probes and 9 probes and 2 stalkers. I think the other probe was on the other side. And lost no. Are you allowed to do that? He's just rallying the rest of the units across. Getting the 2 stalkers is kind of a huge deal. Because usually it's one or the other. You get worker kills or you get army. But he just kind of shoved everything out of the way. And now it's going to be a lot less to deal with the Widowmine Marine drop. There's not enough stalkers to reliably kill this, and Blink is still pretty far out. Drops out the mines first. We'll burrow them down. He's going to use that to zone out the stalkers and effectively deny mining. He's looking to sacrifice, but Clem going to prairie dog the Marine, or the Widowmine. herO. Oh my. Yep, gonna heal up. There's an observer trying to edge that Widowmine just enough. Knocks out 1 and targets the 2nd and blinks over the top to go for the oh, body blocks. And honestly, herO handled that that was about as well as it could have gone. He still lost a huge amount of mining time, and he's still down several probes. So, make no mistake, this is a tough scenario for the Korean Protoss. But it could have been much, much worse. herO. What are you doing? You just walking in? He gets the tank, sure. And you know what? No tank. Everything else, it's free real estate. Another tank coming down. Knocks out some more Marines. The medevac. Oh, you know he wants it. There's a Marauder, though. The tank! Oh, no! He strayed his pretty little stalker toes into range. And now the Raven. That was not a super pylon. Blinks in. Pretty sure he could just kill the stalker. But he's going to target fire the probes. Immortals out. Clem is still in a strong position. He's working towards more medevacs. He has 48 to 46 workers. Well, extended thermal lance on the way. No Templar build so far. He hasn't even built a Templar Archives this series. He saw a few DTs in game 1. Don't think a single Archon. He's all about that Robo. Colossus is already done. He's got the 3rd base. hero's starting to pull away in the probe count, as you do with 3 bases. Chrono boost. But it is a fragile position, because when you take this sort of economic damage and you're forced into that sort of army, the gateway count is lacking. He's going up to 6. He has no forge. It's going to be entirely reliant on the Colossi being in position. He doesn't have the stalkers to just be zoning out the Raven. The Observer gets out of surveillance mode just in time. The entire army will chase. Wow. He gets it, turns it around. Colossus still stepping forward. He's gonna try to meet him on the field. I don't know. Like, that's 1 Colossus. He has no force fields. Extended thermal lance. That's herO. This time around, Clem will not be intimidated. The Colossus topples. The sentry is sniped. Another Colossus comes up. But the backbone of the army crumbles. He actually picked up. There's still far too many Marauders here. A Dark Shrine on the way, which smacks of desperation. And saves the tank with a slick pickup. That Immortal is so important, as the Marauders otherwise... Like, that, you can't... This is not enough unit. Clem agrees. What is this? He has 1 Colossus, 1 Immortal, 1 Stalker. which is 100% too few units. So if you had 2 of each of those, it'd be great, but don't be pedantic. The charge lot's optimistically coming out. Will die. hero's down 40 supply, which is not good. Blocks forward. hero! Where are you going? The Immortal taking big hits. The Colossi even bigger. They'll fall. 60 supply gap. The Raven has survived throughout all this. I think he select all armied it back. Not that it matters. hero's has 2 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, and 1 Colossus. I think Clem has done it. hero's has stretched himself far too thinly. And Clem will easily be able to break him apart. The reinforcement, he has a 3rd and a 4th on the way. Even if this army spontaneously combusted, it wouldn't be enough. GG! I don't know what that was, but GG. Clem wins. He survives the hero experience, at least this time, and claims this series 3 games to 2. In another roller coaster where hero giveth and hero taketh away. And Clem claims the finals. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I hope it made your day a little bit better. If you got the means and motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing and even hyping is still free, at least for now. And thank you to our Mule Tier patrons, Big Jig, Devin, Dor, Drac, Kate, Mario, Suit. Glad you still enjoy. And, well, to everyone, thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.